wonderful.
Hey, Fab Gals. Yay! We are live. We have better lighting this time. We are better organized to go live. I'm so excited.
And it's not tilting over.
It's not moving. The other day,
What happened last time?
It was moving.
we were going on our cell phones.
There was construction
And it was
outside.
construction, and it was moving because we had it on a stand because my thing wasn't
Like
working.
the whole
Anyway,
thing with
no, it's crazy. Anyway, hey, Fab Gals. So welcome to our live broadcast. It is Friday morning in New York City, and we are so delighted and excited to be with you. Today, we have a special guest. We have Courtney from the V Club in New York City. And the reason why we're here with her, Hina, Nikki, hey girlies, nice to see you. Also, we can see your chat going here along the side, which is brilliant. Anyway,
I'm joined.
Yeah.
so what we're talking about today, ladies, wait for it. We are talking about sex, beauty, and fashion for women over 40. And so Courtney's our special guest. And one of the reasons why we brought her in is because we are doing a fabulous event next week, Wednesday. So any of you New Yorkers who are in and around the city, come and join us. I will put the link in the description below. But it's going to be a fabulous event. But today we just want to give you a little bit of a taster of what we're going to be doing. And then also for those of you who don't live in New York, right? And we want to hear your questions and engage with you, which is really fun. So, Courtney, tell us about you and what you do.
Yeah.
So we're sitting here at the V Club, and unfortunately we're kind of facing a plain wall. We have a lot of artwork here, and maybe, I don't know if later we can kind of
It's a
turn the camera a
beautiful
little bit.
space. Wow. It's really
Yeah.
beautiful.
So we are our new space. We are a unique space for women in New York City where we answer women's questions and teach them about all the things that we do in pursuit of happiness as women. And this is sex, relationships, love. How do we make this work? It's very exciting. We're getting a lot of people coming in, a lot of questions. We have formal classes that we do, and we also do private sessions. So,
Okay.
What can I ask you? What happens in your private sessions so
Sure.
that the ladies out there know? Like, just give us a little taste of what that's like.
Oh, definitely. So we have people coming in with all kinds of questions. There may be women in their 20s just dating, and they have questions about how do you form that amazing relationship and how do you make it go the distance. We have women that have been married for a couple of decades and maybe are having questions about how do I receive more pleasure. Maybe I'm not as excited about my husband anymore, but I really love him. How do we make our relationship exciting again? So it's all kinds of things because as women, we all have these different experiences as we grow, as we grow older, depending where we live. And I think we need to receive support about it. And then sex is one of those things that it feels uncomfortable speaking about it. And a lot of times we just hold it in and we kind of just live and survive instead of having the best of, love, relationships, sex, motherhood.
Yes.
Courtney, what I love about what you're saying is that when you bring women together, then, it's really, she said, Nikki says she'd love to be part of our chat sessions. Cool.
Okay,
well, we're
great.
doing it every Friday, so please come and meet with us on Friday mornings. Yeah. So what I love about what you're doing at V Club is that you're bringing women together, and when women come together, they realize that they're not alone in their process, right? Because I find even so I do quite a lot of fashion workshops and styling workshops, and it never is really about the clothes. It's about how we feel about ourselves and how we feel about our bodies. And so many women feel that they're alone in that process. Like, I don't love my body, or I'm so self-conscious about this or that, or I look at other women and they seem so much more fabulous than me. And yet they feel like they're alone in that. And actually they're not. And when women come together, we realize that we're not alone, which is so exciting because then we can have open conversations. So tell us some of, so we did a little Instagram live beforehand, and Courtney was saying, you were sharing about how that as women, we have to learn how to have pleasure because it's not integral. It's not something that comes necessarily naturally. So speak to us a little bit about that.
Oh, this is exactly it. Thank you, by the way, for bringing that point. Our classes, our group classes are maximum of 16 people. And the reason being is that it becomes a tight community, right? People feel comfortable asking their questions and also listening to other people share their experiences.
Mhm.
And it's so important because, to your point, we all do feel very alone.
Mhm.
But the truth is that most of us have very similar types of experiences, whether it's during sex, whether it's in a relationship. So just knowing that alone just alleviates the pressure. So the exciting thing about the thing that most women don't understand about sex is this. It's not intuitive to us. It seems like it's something that's really intuitive, right?
Yeah, it seems like it should.
It
You
just
know?
flows,
like it
you
should
kinda-
be.
exactly.
Get naked, do the thing.
It's not for women. It is for men. And if you think about evolution, it has to be that way. If it wasn't intuitive to men, we wouldn't be sitting here. There would be no children being born. But it is not intuitive to women. So most of us, what we do is the way we move during sex. It's not to maximize our pleasure. We're literally doing the opposite. We do this in such a fun exercise in class where we just ask women, like, okay, just imagine the situation. What would you do? How would you move? And they give us an answer, and most people give the same answer.
Interesting.
As an example, doggy style. How would you do this? And so
Mhm.
most women say, okay, I'm going to keep my legs apart. You actually want to keep your legs together. That is how you derive much more pleasure because things are tighter, and that is
so interesting.
Yes, that's how you can climax much faster. So there are these little tricks, there are these little things that to women, it doesn't come intuitively to us.
Mhm.
But if we know them, everything can be very different.
Also, I think a lot of women are concerned about giving the man pleasure. You know,
Mhm.
there is a lot of women out there that are not thinking about their own. They're thinking about the man's. They're not just because there's a lot of women who are self-conscious about. It's really a mental thing, like you were saying. There's so many layers to this, which is interesting.
That's the other side of it. The other side is having your brain engaging in the right way because our brain is our largest sex organ.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is so true. That is so true.
Somebody's asking a question.
Okay, so our bodies go. Oh, hey, Dana, again. So good to see you. Wonderful. She says
Hi,
our
Dana.
bodies go through so much by the time we reach our 50s. It's hard to keep up in our minds.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dana, and I think that's so important because that's my second thing to discuss. We were having a discussion before this live, and I think we need to speak about menopause as well. We need to speak about hormonal changes. I mean, I mentioned on my community page that we were going to touch on that. So Dawn, I mean, I'd like to engage you with this. How is it for you, and because we're going to share our own experiences. How has it been for you?
Well, and you probably know this, perimenopause is at least 10 years before you actually go into menopause.
Wow.
So you're experiencing a lot of hormonal shifts. I'm not a doctor, so I don't want to, really get into all the
well, we're
medical
just sharing.
parts of
We're
it.
just sharing
Yeah.
our own experiences.
But from my experience, it was 10 years, even before I started even experiencing shift in my period, shift in my, my menstrual cycle. And, and that really could mess with you because sometimes you don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
what's happening
relate
to
to
me?
that.
Like, why am I feeling so weird? Why am I not sleeping as well? Why am I feeling anxious? Because it causes different symptoms in different women. I mean, some women go through changes and don't have one hot flash. They don't experience zero. There's other women, it's every 5 minutes, every 10 minutes. So that's why I think we need to talk about this because we are all different. And, we're like flowers in the garden, all different shapes, sizes, and same thing with our hormones. We each experience. So that's why when you go to a doctor and they do these cookie cutter approaches,
Yes.
I don't like that. I think you need to find, that's why I like naturopaths
Yes.
or,
Yes.
homeopaths or whatever, because they look at you as opposed to every woman is this. And so every woman's going to be treated this way.
Correct.
And every woman's hormones are it's very cookie cutter. The
Yeah.
standard, if you go to the standard, OBGYN. And there's wonderful, fantastic OBGYNs out there. But I found for me, the naturopathic way was the best way for me to go because I I don't like the drug hormones.
Yes.
I don't feel like they're that safe. They made me, and so I use more of a natural progesterone, a natural estrogen made from natural, plant essence, natural substances. And so I can talk more about that with you guys. But I want to focus on this beautiful woman here and her beautiful space and stuff. Just for the new people coming in, we're having an event here on Wednesday at the V Club. Any New Yorkers out there or anybody in the tri-state area?
Yeah, let us know.
Let us know. And
you can
and
comment
also,
on the chat
if you
too.
have questions as well, we'd love to hear from you. Thank you for watching. But yeah, so that's kind of how I feel. I mean, I don't know if you guys have been experiencing
so
any
I
shifts
definitely,
yet.
the beginning of, so I'm 44, and the beginning of this year, I was feeling, actually for a while, I had started feeling some hormonal imbalances. Like I was getting seriously bloated 10 days before my period.
Wow.
I mean, like to a point that I felt like I looked like I was 3 months pregnant.
Wow.
It was painful and really weird. And, and I didn't know which part of my body it was coming from.
Yeah.
And I went to my homeopath because, Dawn, like you, I mean, I find natural methods work so much better for me.
Yeah.
And it was interesting. So my homeopath put me on a natural progesterone cream, and I had my first hot flush when I used the natural progesterone cream. It did. It was like it was weird. It was weird. Anyway, it took a few weeks to kind of stabilize, and then I started feeling really good. But actually, I have to tell you that the key for me was that a few months ago, I went from a pescatarian diet to a vegan diet, and I feel incredible. I'm off the progesterone cream. I am. My hormones feel more balanced. I always had low blood pressure. My blood pressure is completely normal. And so for me, that was really helpful. And I think when I looked into how many hormones are in food, and especially animal products, it was actually quite shocking.
Wow.
Especially in the United States.
Yeah.
Well, even here, and the thing is, by nature, like cow's milk has got hormones in it, and eggs have got hormones, even if it's organic. So we often think, well, if it's organic and it's free range, then it's okay. But by that nature, and as women, we have very, very sensitive hormones, right? So, and it's not a,
and
like
it gets worse when this is a thing. What happens during menopause or perimenopause is that they become even more sensitive and kind of all over the place.
Exactly.
Then if we're consuming hormones,
well, and they're hormone disruptors. So if you're ingesting, it's creating havoc, and that's why even putting things on your body, you have to be very careful.
That's very interesting.
Creams, lotions, because I'm a beauty expert, and I'm, really just use natural soaps, natural, don't start using all that stuff can disrupt your hormones.
Because your skin is your biggest, I mean, progesterone cream that I used. Hey, by the way, okay, so let's just see. Hey, we've got Joanna, and then E. Smith says, I just started hot flushes for the first time last month, and I'm already miserable.
Yeah.
These things are so tough. That has to be one of the worst parts of it.
Yeah, it's very bad.
And it just hits you at a second,
So Courtney, how do you handle that? Okay, having a total hysterectomy, the hormone changes were crazy, and acupuncture helps the transition. Oh, wow, Dana, that's interesting. Yeah. That's very interesting.
That's one of the ways to.
Okay,
sure.
I can tell about very ugly acne. Sure. Okay, Joanna. So you really are experiencing huge hormonal shifts.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how? I mean, so speak about then maybe coming from this perspective. I mean, I know you have specifically a class of women over 50, and so how do you kind of handle these things, because it does impact on how we feel about our bodies. I mean, I know during that period of time, I wasn't feeling very sexy. I mean, feeling like I'm bloated to the point that I'm 3 months pregnant and sore. So how do we handle that from a sexual point of view? Oh my goodness, okay. I can let's see. It's just hot in Georgia now all the time. So my hot flashes are blending in. Oh, yeah, it's very hot in New York too, but I'm sure it doesn't feel like it's blending in, right, Lori? That must be very hard. So I was so beautiful, and now, sure, Joanna, I can hear you.
No, you're still beautiful.
You're still beautiful, and everything that we go through during this time, everything we can actually minimize, and possibly when we can make the symptoms go away. And Dawn said something so important. For every woman, it's individual, and so there is no one size fits all in terms of the solution. But the good news, and this is why the medical community a lot of times fails, is because they just want to give us like here's the one cream I have. Like,
here's
use
the
it.
one thing, and here's the
Yeah.
one lotion. Rub this on every day. You know,
It doesn't really-
what you might experience is completely different than what I might experience
Mhm.
going
Yes.
through this, or what you might experience being vegan. You might not get any hot flashes. I don't know exactly.
Yeah, I think
what
every woman
each
is different.
but what to your point is that you have to find that doctor, that person, that naturopath, or whoever you're talking to that will work with you and listen to you.
Yes.
Listen
Mhm.
to what you're like. I would have doctors go, no, just take that. Yeah, but I'm different than Sally, so I kind of need something more customized. No, just take that. That's what I give everybody at Works. It's
Yes.
like, well, you have no idea. You're not even
Yes.
listening to
Yeah.
what I'm telling you. My symptoms are.
Yeah.
My symptoms are different than Sally's. And I'm sure you guys have experienced this
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
It's not until you find someone that will actually listen to you and work with you that you'll get great results. I mean, because that's what happened to me. It wasn't until I found a naturopath that wrote down all my, and then asked me lots of questions,
Yes.
and then customized it
Yes.
to my needs.
Yeah. Well, you see, that's the thing is with
yeah.
homeopaths. I mean, I don't know with
Yeah.
naturopaths, but with homeopaths, they work on constitution. So they
Yeah.
ask you a whole stack of questions, and often my homeopath will mix me a constitutional remedy, and then she'll mix me a symptom remedy. So, but I can see the comments are coming through. So, so Joanna says, I'm very sensitive and I experience everything very intensely. Sure,
I'm
hear
actually
you.
the same way.
Mm.
Me too.
any
And it's
kind
good
of
and
this-
bad once
yeah.
you see. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like for me, if I have to even take Tylenol, I have to take half of like a child's
too.
dose.
Me too.
Okay.
And then, yeah.
So talk about weight gain. I've always been underweight and I've gained 22 pounds in the last year. I run every day and watch what I eat. Sure, Isma, that's yeah, I can hear you. And then yes, I can tell Tracy, unfortunately, what it when it is a hot flash. Oh, okay, you can tell. Trying St. John's wort and black cohosh with
Yeah, that
progesterone
works.
cream. Okay.
She's talking
Wanting
about
good
herbs.
nutrition,
Yeah.
wanting to try a good nutritionist, I do believe they will help. Yeah, Lauren,
Yeah.
I hear you. I
Yeah.
absolutely hear. I think, but Dawn, what I like about what you're saying is that none of us are trying to say, well, now you must do this because this works.
Yeah.
We're saying you have to find out what works for you.
You have
and
to be your own
sometimes try-
advocate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and try different things. And
And
so,
so-
tell us, I'd love to hear some of your solutions to these
Sure.
challenges.
So the good news to all of this is that there are most things that we can do naturally that will alleviate or eliminate the symptoms completely. But really, no one can predict what it is. There's no magic, there's no like that crystal ball. We have to try them. And so you definitely consider your diet. Maybe you go vegan, which is what helped Tracy, which is amazing. Or maybe you actually have to add meat to your diet and give that a try. Now,
Organic.
organic, of course. Oh yes, of course,
Yeah.
organic meat. And the way to do it is, you want to try a certain diet for at least 30 days.
Yeah, for 3 weeks at least. Yeah,
At least,
3
I
weeks,
would say.
30 days
Yeah.
is a good.
A little bit longer is even better, just because it takes your body to adjust to. Initially, you might
Yes.
have something. There might be even something kind of completely havoc going on, and then your body adjusts, and you really want to see what is that steady state.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So there are a couple of different ways, and you can't just say, oh, for Tracy, the vegan thing works, so I must be vegan. May not be the case. Maybe you need red meat because you need that, B12. Obviously, what you use on your skin is very important. But let's just take this bigger picture. Stress is a killer. Stress will completely wreak havoc in your hormones, whether you're 19, 20, 30. Obviously, as we get older, everything gets more sensitive. And I feel like with this conversation, we may all start getting stressed about this, and then it can make things worse.
Yes,
You have to bring it down somehow. And, we can probably spend a long time talking about how to do that. It's just whatever works for you. You have to sleep more. You have to just be less stressed, because if you're stressed, it doesn't matter what diet you have. It doesn't matter what creams you use. You're just going to have symptoms because your body is just not going to cooperate.
Yeah, your body gets, for me, I do a lot of meditation. I try to get up early in the morning. Even if you try to do 10 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever time even if it's 5 minutes, if you get up and you meditate, and I have different tapes. There's a great app. You guys, can I tell them about this fantastic app? Because it's really helped my life. I want to tell you the name of it. I don't know it's called.
Oh my God, that's
Insight.
mine. That's my go-to app as well. It's amazing.
It's called Insight, right?
Insight Timer.
Insight
So great.
Timer.
Mhm.
And you go on there and you can choose what works for you. So there's the gratitude, sleep, whatever it is.
Mhm.
And I found that that's changed because I'm going through a lot of stress in my life right now in particular. And so it's exasperated my symptoms and whatever, my changes and my hormonal changes. And I find that I have to stay at peace with myself. I have to stay calm. I have to stay less stressed because it's just going to make me, more anxious. And so I find meditation helps. And working out is a stress reliever too.
And dancing. Dancing for me is the thing.
Dance, jump rope, get your groove on, put on a beautiful CD and start dancing around the house, any of that stuff.
This is the thing. Working out doesn't have to be like at the gym.
Oh, no, really I don't mean that. I don't do that.
You can do something fun. You can do sport. Okay.
Girls, we've got a question. Sorry, from Banan. Is it Bananen from Germany? And she says that it's hard to date over 50. So how do you find confidence with the aging body? Hugs to you, ladies. Thanks. We love you too. And your question. Okay, so I've been married for 18 years. So the dating thing, but I do think that, just from my perspective, I do think that we have to continue and cultivate a good relationship with our bodies because our bodies are changing. There's no, what do you think?
Oh, I think that's completely true. And there are obviously ways that we can make ourselves look better from the outside. And this is where Tracy comes in.
Yes.
Skincare, same thing. Also diet. There are things we can do to make ourselves feel better, but really aging is a natural process. And we just have to come to terms with that.
I think our society has made it as if it's unnatural though. And that's what annoys me. I'll never forget when I went to a spa and I had a facial and this 20-something girl says to me, I'm in my 40s. And she goes, yes, I'm seeing signs of aging. Oh, as if now I'm going to be so devastated. I'm 44, ladies. Of course I have signs of aging.
There's a lot of 20-year-olds that are Botoxing
it's
and
crazy.
doing
It is crazy. So she wanted to sell me
facial reconstruction.
She wanted to sell me all these products because there's signs of aging. And I was that's crazy. And I think, to touch on what you were saying, Courtney, I do think from a clothing perspective, I have found women have really been able to improve their relationships with their bodies when they're wearing clothes that suit their body shape and that they are wearing things that are fashionable but still current. So, because we want to look. Come on, we over 40, we want to look fashionable, but we don't want to look like we just raided our daughter's closet, right?
It has to be. It has to be.
Exactly. But we still want to look current. We want to feel fabulous. Okay, no, go away, Ahmed. You are blocked. Disgusting. We're not even saying your thing. Okay, so Joanna says, you know what? The only alternative is aging is dying young. Oh no, yeah. Oh. Well, hopefully, you know what? I just want to say also, one of the things that has helped me a lot is that I surround myself with older women who are so inspirational. Deborah Rappaport, I'm actually staying with her. She's in her 70s and she looks amazing. And she embraces and encourages and just embraces her body and her life, and she's active and she does stuff. Dawn, I find you very inspirational. You're just a few years older than me. I find, and also being around other women who are just going at it and looking fantastic. Lori just said, you each are absolutely beautiful. And yes, we want to look great, especially when we still feel 25. Exactly. Yeah. We still feel 25, even if our bodies aren't 25. I have a friend, she's 72 and she's so cool. You see, that's the thing. I surround myself with women. And the thing is, Instagram's an amazing platform for that, girls. It really is. You can go, follow hashtags like over 40 style, over 40 fashion, over 40 beauty, advanced style. Go and check out the advanced style movement. Deborah Rappaport was the photograph for that. Yeah. There are just so many amazing women. Yeah.
You know who I love to follow who's so empowering? You guys, go to Mae Musk. It's actually Elon Musk's mother.
Really?
That woman, no wonder she's got such a powerful kid. That woman rocks it. If you see her Instagram page, She's so stylish. She's in her 70s, stylish, sexy. She just got the Revlon campaign, like, so she's doing all these different, she just knows how to rock her age. No apology, no excuses. And her hashtag, I'm just getting started. I'm just getting started, and it's never too late. It's never too late to be fabulous.
Yeah.
It's never too late to be sexual or be vibrant or be feminine or be stylish. It's what it's inside you. How you feel about yourself is what you're going to project to the world.
Yeah.
So you want to look your best, or just be whatever it is that's going to make you happy and cultivate and feel good about yourself. You do it.
And actually that brings me back, like, just to circle back on the dating question.
Yeah.
One of the things we teach in class is the way that men see women. They actually don't necessarily look at the beauty. They actually look at what's inside. It's that energy. It's that vivaciousness. And that's why you will see men, fabulous men, wealthy men, the kind of guys that like a lot of women go after.
Yeah.
They will date women that are not necessarily the most attractive, that are not necessarily very young, because these women rock it.
Yes,
that's
I
self-confidence.
totally agree.
Absolutely.
It's actually not really how we look, it's how we feel. So we just have to figure out, how do I feel good about myself? But listen, I think we all have these things like, oh my God, I have an extra wrinkle, this, that.
Yeah.
But we actually have to just find that like beauty inside of ourselves.
Yeah.
And that's how love comes, and that's how dating comes.
Yeah.
And it's the same exact thing in sex, right? It's not about like being literally the best lover and having the best technique. It's about bringing that energy and the sexiness to it. It's
I'm taking her classes. I don't know.
I think we're gonna do a class right now. We're gonna have to do
the more she talks, the more I'm like, oh my God, I need her class
I
like ASAP.
know.
Like,
It's a fun topic.
right? Isn't this like it's such a great? You're so inspiring, because you're right. It does come from inside. It says you feel good inside. Everyone around you is going to notice that, I always, who's my favorite example of a beautiful woman who just rocked it, but wasn't, do you know who Angela Mayu is? She wrote, yes. So she was this vibrant woman, but not like, I wouldn't say in the conventional sense of, she wasn't jumping off the cover of Vogue magazine, but she was gorgeous, right?
Yeah.
She would walk into a room and own it because of how she felt inside. Yes. And the men all gravitated towards her.
I have seen
and
that
she would say, watch this. I'm going to wear no makeup. Yeah. I'm going to wear no whatever. And I'm going to walk it. Marilyn Monroe is another perfect example. She would go out on the street with no makeup, no, like just a hat, clothes, and she would say, watch me do my Marilyn thing. And she would walk like this, and nobody noticed her. She goes, watch me do my Marilyn thing, and watch everybody. She took her hat off. She went like this and walked with her head up, and like, no makeup on and everything. Everybody looked at her. It's this inside that comes out, and that's what people are attracted to. That's what I believe.
I can say, Dawn, for me, I've also had the same thing where I thought, it was about, that I was well dressed or whatever. And then I've been without makeup, but I've been feeling on top of the world, and kind of just like in workout clothes, even on top of the world, and walked in and just noticed that people have turned around and looked. Yeah. And it's interesting that they notice me. And I think it's just it's so important that we just value ourselves and we own our look. I'm loving this. She says, I've been a stay-at-home mom for many years. Your channel has inspired me to start taking care of myself. My husband has noticed. Thank you. Fabulous! Woo! That is awesome.
We love to hear that.
Lovely, Karen. Hey, fantastic. So wonderful to see you. And Joanna is saying, I feel better now in comparison to my 20s, but all these changes are so incredible. I'm scared sometimes. Yeah. And I think that's why it is so important. That's why we're having these conversations, because I feel like, I went onto YouTube to even look at menopause, hormonal changes. There's not much there.
Nobody's talking about it.
We aren't talking about it enough. We're not talking about it enough. And this is what we're trying to do, and debunk those myths, girls, because you know what? I feel like this is our time. And we are about the over 40s, the women over 40. And I mean, that means you can be over 70. I don't care. At any age over 40, we are starting to rock it and rock it big. And watch it. I'm telling you,
more intuitive.
Brands are starting to want to speak to us. Company, you know.
We're like fine wine. We get better.
We are just getting better.
So, you know what? It's really true. It's not a cliche. It's true.
Yeah.
But we have to just keep it on the inside.
Yeah.
Because when we're young, we just rely on that youth and that's it's meaningless. We're kind of silly. We're not. I don't know what are we doing now.
I feel so much better in my 40s than I ever did in my 20s.
Well, you're
I
starting
feel more
to own your
confident.
power. You're starting to
Absolutely.
own your feminine energy. You're starting to understand what that is to be a woman. That you are divine.
Yeah.
You know, they say sex actually gets better after 40. The reason being is because mentally we're able to relax and just do things we want to do, right?
Yeah.
And we care. We're like, let's just go for it. I agree. Yeah. Okay. So, girls, Dawn, we have to announce our winner of our giveaway from last week.
Oh,
and I've chosen a winner. Yay! It's Dana. We're so excited for you.
Dana.
You have been such a wonderful fan. You've been both on my channel and Dawn's channel. So please, Dana, just pop me an email at info@tracygoldfashiontips.com so that we can send your gift to you. We are so excited to have you as our winner.
Two Tom Ford perfumes.
So one for you and one for your BFF.
Yeah.
So ladies, this has been amazing and so wonderful to engage. I feel so inspired. I don't know who feels more inspired, you girls or like I'm feeling hugely
I'm
inspired.
so excited about the V Club. And
I know. We need to come to our courses.
I can't wait to do these courses.
Yeah.
You guys come check us out. We also have a happy hour on Mondays. We do lots of events here.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
We do lots of them with beautiful ladies talking
Yeah.
I'm going to be
about
living here.
I know. And I think we should camp out.
Well, you live a few minutes away.
I
You
live
can
a
come
few
here all
minutes
the time.
away, but next time we do this, we have to do a room tour because they have made this
This
place
is a beautiful place.
so gorgeous. But ladies, listen, we're continuing the conversation now on my channel.
Yes.
So what we
Dawn
want you to
Gallagher.
do, all you beauties and everyone watching right now, and the thumbs up, thank you for the thumbs up. That's very gracious.
Absolutely.
That means that you love what we're saying. We're going to be heading over to my channel now. We just, technically we have to switch and do some stuff.
Yeah.
So give us about 10, 15 minutes.
10,
just
15 minutes, and then come and
switch.
join us on Dawn's channel. And if you subscribe and you hit the notification button, you will be notified when we're live. So you don't have to be sitting at the sitting waiting for us to go live.
Yeah.
You'll actually be notified.
Know it. So Dawn Gallagher, DAWN, and then GALLAGHER. I know both of you, many of you are both our channels.
You can cross
pollinate. But anyway, we love you. And we can't wait to see you over on our channel. Thank you for the questions. Let's continue the conversation.
Absolutely.
See us in about 10, 15 minutes.
See you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.